Welcome to Informatica Cloud 201 On-Demand course, Module 7, Informatica Cloud Advanced Properties and SQL Overrides in Lookup. After completing this module, you will be able to understand what is SQL Override in Lookup. Let us now understand what SQL overrides in Lookup transformation. In Informatica Cloud, a Lookup transformation has an option to override the default query generated by the mapping. This means that if a mapping configuration task has a lookup transformation, then the task queries the lookup based on the fields and properties you configure in the lookup transformation. You can override the lookup SQL query if the lookup is against a relational table. You can enter your own select statement with a list of columns in the select clause of the SQL, matching with the transformation fields in lookup override SQL query. You can use the override to change the order by clause and add a where clause, or transform the lookup data before it is cached. If you configure a SQL override and a filter on the lookup query, the mapping configuration task ignores the filter. Let us now discuss all the situations where we can use the lookup SQL override functionality. You can customize the SQL queries used in the lookup transformation. You can also use database functions to adjust the data types or formats in the lookup table to match those which are already used in the mapping. You can use SQL overrides and lookups to meet complex selection or join criteria. Now that you have understood what lookup SQL override functionality is and where you can use it, let us now discuss the attributes of the SQL override in lookup transformation. You can use this feature only in a mapping and not in other tasks. You can use any SQL query that runs on the database. These queries could include complex joins and subqueries as well. When you use lookup override SQL query, an order by clause will automatically be appended at runtime to the query that runs the lookup. By default, the lookup query does not contain an order by clause. For better understanding of the queries, you need to specify the column alias names. For example, select ABC as ABC, XYZ as XYZ from customer table. A well-known firm working for healthcare products used to store data from multiple hospitals so that they can use that for the marketing purpose. The company used to accumulate data from various hospitals and store it in the database in a proper format. However, the data accumulated from various hospitals was not consistent. Some data was in uppercase, some in mixed case, and some in small case, due to which all the records did not get loaded in the target. The employees had to convert all the data in uppercase and then load it in the database. Performing this task manually proved to be a tedious and time-consuming method. They switched to Informatica Cloud as a solution to their business issue. They created mappings having lookup transformation using lookup SQL override feature. As a result, all the correct information was now written into the target upon executing the task. This process was easy to implement and a quick method to update the database. So now the task, which took months to complete, now just took a few hours. In this demo, we will configure SQL override of the lookup transformation. In the data integration page, select New from the navigation pane. To create a new mapping, click Mappings from the New Asset window and select the Mapping option. The mapping canvas appears. In the mapping properties, enter the name of the mapping as Lookup Override. In the Source Properties pane, enter SRC in the name field and select the Source tab. Select the Flat File Connection from the Connection drop-down and Single Object from the Source Type drop-down. Click the Select button. From the Source Object window, select List.csv and click OK. To add an expression transformation, drag and drop the expression transformation between source and target. The expression transformation gets linked to source and target automatically. In the New Expression Properties pane, enter EXP format in the name field. Click the Expression tab and click the plus icon to add a new field. Select the field type as Output field. Name the field as upper first name of string type with a precision of 40 and click OK. Now to convert this field, click the Configure link. To convert the records of first name field to uppercase, enter the expression as shown on the screen and click OK. To add a lookup transformation to the mapping, drag and drop the lookup shape on the canvas and enter LKP override in the name field. In the Lookup Object tab, select the Oracle Database connection from the Connection drop-down. Select Single Object from the Source Type field. To select the lookup object, click the Select button. Select the Customer table from the pop-up window and click OK. Ensure Return Any row is selected for returning multiple matches. Now in the lookup condition, click the plus icon to add a new field. Select Name from the Lookup field drop-down, Equals as the operator, and Upper First Name as incoming field. Click the Advanced tab and enter the Lookup SQL override condition, as shown on the screen. To configure the target, click the Target transformation in the mapping to open the Target Properties pane below the mapping. Click the General tab and enter TGT file in the name field. Click the Target tab and select the active flat file connection from the Connection drop-down. Select Single Object from the target type and click the Select button. To create a target, click the Create at Runtime radio button. Name the file as tgtfile.txt and click OK. Click the Validate icon to validate the mapping. As the mapping is valid, click the Save button to save the mapping. Now click the Run button and from the pop-up window, select the active runtime environment. Click Run to run the mapping. Click My Jobs in the navigation pane to see that the task has run successfully. We see that the task is executed successfully. Observe the status as success, with 5 success rows written to the target, and there are 0 error rows. Open the target file and see that the source and lookup data has been written successfully. This concludes the demo of Informatica Cloud Advanced Properties Lookup SQL Override. You're now ready to take the lab. In this lab, you will create a mapping using Lookup transformation. Configure the Lookup SQL Override setting in the Lookup transformation. This concludes Informatica Cloud 201 On-Demand course, Module 7, Informatica Cloud Advanced Properties and Lookup SQL Override. In summary, we understood what is SQL Override in Lookup,